That's it. I'm going to get organized. I'm going to organize, insert here. If you have ever said that and you find that you're struggling to get it done, today's video is for you. Hello, welcome back. I'm Noreen Burke from The Crafty Organizer, and if you're new, thanks so much for stopping by. I'm glad to have you here. So many times I think we're lulled into this exciting adventure of let's get organized, and you imagine little birds landing on your finger and whistling while you work, and the reality is organizing is hard, organizing is overwhelming, organizing is messy, and organizing is a non-stop adventure. So let me give you some scenarios here this whole video is going to be filled with quick analogies. If you decided this morning that you woke up and you wanted to run a marathon, you would not run to the store, grab the cheapest shoes you could find, and just start running. You would train, you would prep, you would plan, and you would give yourself time to get ready to run that race. Likewise, if you wanted to be a doctor, you would not watch one episode of Grey's Anatomy and then walk into the surgical room going, I'm here. You would study, learn, and prepare. You guys, organizing is very much like this. So to prepare you for this training process, I'm going to share some ugly truths about organizing so that we can get those expectations set up accordingly and set you up for success. Let's go. Ugly truth number 1. I've said this. Leave me a comment below if you've ever said, once I get organized, as long as you are living in your home, it's never going to be completely organized. And that is totally okay and normal. I'm full of analogies today, so think of a beach. When you walk along the beach, the waves come in and go out. Pretty simple, right? Sand and water. Except, have you ever seen a tide stay exactly where it's at? Or have you ever seen waves that stay exactly the same size? Or have you ever been around a beach or seen pictures where after a storm, the beach is completely filled with debris and seaweed? And you guys, life is just like that. So you could be the most efficient organizer in the world and have the most incredible systems. But as long as life is still happening around you, things are going to constantly be changing. Our home is the same way. Seasons change, interests change. The things happening on a daily basis are always changing. So expecting your home to get organized and stay organized just isn't a reality. The truth is, you will always be working on your organizing system, and that is not a bad thing. It means that you're allowed to adjust and allow it to grow and change with you. Ugly truth number 2. That's it. I'm getting the house organized this weekend. I am totally guilty of this one. I get some free time and I look at a space and I just reach that I've had it point. So I dive in, I grab some trash bags, I go in, I start sorting, I start setting things into piles of what I want to donate, keep, throw away, and all of a sudden I look up and realize it's Sunday night. I am nowhere near finished. I have all of these chaotic things around me. It doesn't look anything like I expected, and worst of all, I am in pain and exhausted because I didn't make a plan. What that ends up doing is throws my entire week off, and I'm beating myself up for failing. You guys, the truth is you have to plan, just like that marathon I spoke of. When you walk into the space, you really need to look at it. Are there large items that don't belong in there that you're going to need help getting out? Is there an excessive amount of donations and trash that perhaps you might need to set up a service for or call for a pickup so that those things have a destination? Another thing to consider is, do you need storage solutions? That can be dressers, bookcases, those steel shelves that I love so much. These are all things we have to look at before we dive in. And then most importantly, if you've ever watched me before, you know I'm a huge supporter of setting that timer. Say it with me. Setting the timer gives you a focus because you know you're trying to get something done before that timer goes off. That's the first wonderful part about it. The second part of it is it allows you to stop and assess, okay, is what I'm doing the correct plan or do I need to revise it? But the most important thing about setting that timer is it allows you to check in with yourself. Am I okay? Do I need food? Do I need water? Am I hurting? Should I take some ibuprofen? Should I take a break? Should I stop for today and continue tomorrow? You guys, that timer is like that personal assistant that keeps checking in with you to say, what do you need? What do you need? Set that timer. It is one of the biggest tips that I can give you to help you successfully organize a space. Ugly truth number 3. A place for everything and everything in its place. I know some of you are gasping right now because it's one of my favorite sayings, and it's true. It is so important to have a designated home for things. The ugly truth is you can't do this if you have too many things in your area. I've talked about the 5-gallon bucket before. You can take whatever color, whatever material, you get a 5-gallon bucket, and no matter what you try and do, you're not going to get more than 5 gallons inside of that bucket. Our homes are the same way. Now, you can adjust the storage solutions. You could add more shelves. You could add more bookcases. You can add more dressers or drawers that allow you to store more things inside of them. But the reality is if what you're storing is now spilling outside, you've already filled up those storage solutions, and it is now taking away your joy from using that area. This is going to be the hardest one for me to share with you because I know you love your stuff. But the truth is that stuff is not loving you back. And if it's been preventing you from enjoying your space, it's time to let those things find a new home. Ugly truth number 4. This one is more of a big fat lie than an ugly truth. And that is you have to go to the store to buy organizing supplies to get organized. I know I'm going to get hate for this. However, as much fun as that show, The Home Edit, was to watch, I was yelling at it. I watched it with some of my workers that I organize with, and I was going, oh my gosh, who has $600 to spend on acrylic containers? It was driving me crazy. Now, I am not saying that buying organizing supplies is bad. I think it's a lot of fun and it makes you feel so good to do it. And if it's in your budget, oh my gosh, have a blast. I can't wait to see pictures. But the thing I don't like is the message that you must buy any of these containers or these systems in order to get organized. That's not true. You can create amazing storage and even customize it to match your aesthetic on a budget. And as long as that is your takeaway from this, then I've done my job. Ugly truth number 5. It's hard work. There's a reason that if there's an area in your home where you've opened the door, looked in, realized, nope, not today, and you've shut that door and walked away, it's a reminder of things that you've forgotten about, didn't want to address, or were just overwhelmed to do. It's amazing how we are able to learn to put blinders on and just not even see those spaces anymore. It's hard work, but you guys, it is so worth it, and it is completely attainable in small chunks. It is not a one day. It is not a one weekend. If you consider that this room has probably been accumulating for several months or even maybe a couple of years, you need to understand that you're going to take a slow process taking it back. I'm going to throw in one last analogy because this is something that I've struggled with my whole life, and that's my weight. I go up, I go down. I go up, I go down. I gain it in what always feels like a much faster amount of time than how I've lost it. But the truth is, it's a couple of pounds a month, both up and down. I know that I have gained 20 pounds over this pandemic. If I think I'm going to lose 20 pounds in one weekend, it's not going to be a healthy way, I assure you. It's going to take me a couple of months to change my lifestyle again, start becoming active, make small tweaks, and get to that end goal. Addressing a room like this is the same thing. It didn't get there overnight. It's not going to go back overnight. Here's some things you can do though to make sure you're successful. Every day, set that timer and set anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. Walk into that room and just fill up a trash can. Pick some things for the donation box. Or if you're able to clear out an area, start setting up the sorting boxes. Once that timer is up, way to go. Walk away. If it is a weekend and you feel like, you know what, I can do another session, do another session or two, but then take a break and go back the next day. In the very beginning, it's not going to look like a big difference, but one of those days when you walk in, you're going to go, whoa, this is starting to look different. And you're going to keep accruing those small successes of getting boxes that are just clothing or just crafting or just food supplies or gifts that you've bought. Whatever those categories are, and only you can determine those, are going to start getting set up. Once a box is filled, put a lid on it, stack it on top. Or if you have to, stagger the way that they're stacked so that you can start getting more space to sort through it. But the amazing thing is by doing small sessions and committing to yourself of doing this every day, you're going to get through it. It's just like the pyramids. Could you imagine those poor guys who were forced to build the pyramids and somebody came up and said, hey, here's the plans. We're going to build these 3 giant pyramids. Can you get that done by the end of the weekend? No! They did it one stone at a time, and I've heard very different stories of how long it took to build, but I promise you it wasn't in a weekend. So with this mindset, I want you to know you can tackle any space as long as you take it in small chunks and just keep moving forward. Now, I know a lot of my viewers have physical and mental limitations. I want you to make sure you are absolutely setting that timer so that you're being mindful of how you're feeling, and whenever possible, have someone help you. I've gone to a lot of jobs where I have just been the legs and back for a client who knew exactly what they wanted. They already knew what they wanted to keep and get rid of. They just were not able to physically go in and do that. So let somebody help. I'd love to know in the comments below, what are your biggest struggles with organizing a space, and what are some tips that you have found that help you get organized? I'm always saying that if something I suggest doesn't work for you, that's okay. There are so many different styles and organizing needs out there. As long as you find something that fits and meets your needs, then I am excited for you. I want to give a quick thank you to my patrons who are supporting me and allowing me to make these videos. If you're interested in joining, that information is in the description below. I have one more big favor to ask. YouTube did something kind of strange and they unsubscribed channels from viewers. I went to watch some of my favorite channels and I noticed they were not in my subscriber list anymore. Then I talked to somebody who is one of my viewers and I was no longer on their list. So if you could please take a second, just verify that you are still subscribed to me, I would very much appreciate that. I want to thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you guys in just a few days. Bye.